Hey everybody, it's April, and look who's in the chair. It's Riley. He's not planking with me, of course. He's supervising. So I just want to remind you that this is week 3 of 2024. So hopefully you're still gung-ho about those New Year's resolutions. So I'm just going to talk about that a little bit while we plank. So I'm starting on hands and then finishing on forearms. If you're starting on your hands, start in table position. Pull your shoulders down your back, then lift your upper back. Lift your chest, pull in your belly, come up on your toes, shift your weight forward slightly. The timer has begun. And then once you're in your plank, do all of that again. Press into the floor, separate your shoulders so you're broadening your upper back. Actively pull in your lower belly. It's really, I feel everything moving right now. You know, sometimes I get a nice adjustment when I go into my plank. Tighten up your glutes, press your heels back. So you've got it going on. So here we are, week 3 of 2024. Yay, woo. It's freezing cold here. That's why I actually have on my thermals while I'm planking. And which I might get hot, but I took off everything else that I had on top of it. So maybe it won't be so bad. But I want to remind you that, you know, maybe sometimes after just a couple of weeks in the new year, people start getting frustrated because they're just not where they thought they should be, or they just didn't get started. And sometimes, we're 1 minute, sometimes the problem is that you set, your goals were a little too lofty. So maybe you said, I'm going to start working out every day in 2024. And that's not practical for anyone. It really isn't. And so, or maybe you said, maybe you just said, I'm going to start working out. Maybe you weren't specific enough. Maybe, and so as a consequence, you just haven't started yet because you just didn't have a plan for what you were going to do. But that doesn't mean that it's too late. You know, you can start working out at any time. So if you said, I'm going to work up to a 5-minute plank, and you still haven't tried a 10-second plank, it's not too late. And also, you know, start off with a lower number. You know, I did 5, but in a way that was accidental. I just started off with no plan other than I was going to start planking. Held it for a minute. We're at 2 minutes now, so I'm going to switch to side plank. I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, but I just started adding on, and I worked up to a 5-minute plank. But you don't have to do that. Maybe you say, I'm going to start planking and start off with a minute, and that's work up to a minute. And that is a great amount of time to be planking, especially if you could then start doing it 2:30. I'm going to switch sides. Maybe you start doing it more than 1 time a day, or at least a few times a week. And that's what's really going to make a difference in the way you feel and think, and it's going to help your mood if you're doing it frequently. And you'll start feeling like you have worked toward your New Year's resolution. And we're coming up on 3 minutes. I'm going to switch to my forearms because, remember, one of my things was not necessarily a New Year's resolution, but it was a little bit of a decision that I really wanted to start working on strengthening and toning my lower belly. And forearm plank is one of the best planks for doing that. Certainly, planking on your hands still is great for working on your abs and your lower belly, but forearm plank is where it's at. So that's why we're doing that right now. You could switch if you want to. That is totally up to you. I might even do side plank on my forearms while I'm down here. I just thought of that. I could do that at 4 minutes. Anyway, so here's the other thing. You could have, maybe you had too many things on your New Year's resolution list, and that makes it a little bit difficult to decide which thing are you going to approach first. You know, what do you even do? We're at 4 minutes, so I'm going to switch to side plank on my forearm. So maybe you need to just look over that list again. Make sure you didn't take on too much. See if you need to whittle it down a little bit so it's more manageable and reasonable and something you can actually accomplish. And remember, that's one of the great things about working on your New Year's resolutions is that feeling of accomplishment when you actually make things happen. 4:30, I'm switching sides. So again, a lot of times, you know, one of the biggest things on people's list is losing weight or working out so they can lose weight. So, you know, make sure you're doing that with small goals that you start off with. Start off with, you know, maybe you're trying to lose 5 pounds, but how are you going to do that? Are you going to start cutting out some of the sweets? 5 minutes, I'm switching back to my forearms. Or are you, you know, do you need to cut out some of your drinks that you have during the day? There are all kinds of things you can do, but you have to be specific. You can't just put it out there and hope and wish and dream that it's going to happen. So if you haven't gotten started on your New Year's resolution, start now. It's not too late. It is not too late. It's never too late. It really isn't. But sometimes it gets in people's heads, oh my gosh, I didn't start on week 1 or week 2. Do it today. Make it happen. Have a great day.